Hey guys, it's me, Terrence Michael, bringing you guys this look here on my lovely client. If you're interested to see how we got it, keep on watching. Starting off, brows and eyes are already done and primed, so let's get into the eyeshadow. So first, I'm starting off with my MAC 217 eyeshadow brush, and I'm using my Morphe 35B palette. I'm taking that really dark purple in the palette, and I'm applying that into the crease using a stamping motion, and just kind of stamping the eyeshadow into the crease, not necessarily swiping, but just stamping, getting it to where I want, and then we're going to buff it out. All right, here I'm going in with a Morphe brush, and I'm taking that hot pink shade that's in the Morphe 35B palette, and I'm just buffing out the edges of that purple with the hot pink, just so that it's a gradient effect and it transitions smoothly. All right, here I'm taking a fluffy Morphe brush, a clean one, and I am just buffing out that hot pink shade so that it is not harsh. And then I'm going back in with a little bit more of the hot pink shade to deposit, and then we're going to buff it out again. With blending, it's a lot of adding, blending, adding, and blending, just so that it's a nice and smooth transition. And see here now I'm going back in with that purple that I was adding in the crease with that MAC 217, depositing it and then blending it out with that hot pink again, and then going back in with the fluffy brush just to smooth everything out. Okay, so here I'm going in with a Morphe, I think this is a 514 brush, a detailer brush, and I'm taking that dark blue shade that's in the Morphe 35B palette and just putting that in the crease. This brush is a little bit tighter, so it fits directly into the crease and deposits the color right where I want it. So it's going to give me like a bluish purple shade since it's going to sit on top of that purple that we laid down earlier. Okay, so here I'm taking a flat concealer brush from Morphe. I can't remember the number of it, but I'm taking that along with the C3 concealer in the Makeup Revolution, and I'm using that to kind of cut a halo crease in the eyeshadow. And what we're going to do is we're going to blend that out once we get the desired shape that we want. All right, so now what I'm doing is taking that blue eyeshadow that I used earlier and with the same brush, depositing it to the outer and inner parts of the eye, blending it into that white concealer that we laid down. I'm taking another small synthetic shader brush from Morphe, and I'm applying that electric blue shade from the Morphe 35B palette right on side of that white. I'm going to put it on the inner and the outer portion on both sides, just kind of blending that dark blue to that electric blue and into the white, so again that it has that gradient effect. All right, so now I'm taking that white eyeshadow from the Morphe 35B palette and setting that concealer and blending it into the electric blue shade. All right, so I'm giving her a wing eyeliner. I'm using my Inglot gel liner along with my e.l.f. liner brush to give her that perfect wing liner. All right, so time for lashes. I'm using my Mist lashes in the 3D lash. I got these from my local beauty supply store here. And we're just using my tweezers to apply. And I'm having her open her eyes and look at me to make sure that they are on correctly and they are blending in with her natural lashes.
B&B, Bella the boar. B&G better than the mall. Never been the floor. Pretty kitty, manicured claws. Silly, never been a drawer. When the purr ready, when the pour.
So we are back and the both eyes are done, lashes are on. So let's move on to the face.
Mermaid coming on the shore.
All right, so I'm applying the Black Opal Stick Foundation in the color Hazelnut all over the skin, and I'm gonna buff this foundation out using a Real Techniques buffer brush to get that flawless airbrush finish.
I used to think I was fierce because I was in all the houses. I won trophies. I used to munch trade for dollars too. But see, I'm fiercer now. Because I got a job, I got an education, and I got somebody waiting at home for me, goddammit. Now, one queen asked me the other day, was it?
Okay, here I am using my Real Techniques buffer brush to blend out that foundation. My technique with blending foundation out is I usually do a bit of stippling, and so stamping the foundation in, then buffing it out in a circular motion so it has that smooth finish.
Gorgeous, cause the world is mine. A girl with a twirl in the rhyme. Diamonds and a pearl on the shine. Welcome to our house in the sky. The house. The house.
Work me.
The house.
Because you pay $10 to get in the ball. You work me.
The house.
Work me.
I'm speeding through this section kind of quickly, but you will see that I'm bouncing between my Real Techniques brush and then my Sephora number 56, I believe that's the number, concealer brush to get in those smaller and tighter areas, like underneath the eyes and on the sides of the nose.
Because you pay $10 to get in the ball. You mop.
The house. The house. The house. The house. The house. The house.
Work me, goddammit.
Me, goddammit. Back at it again. My only bad habit, my addiction to win. She only mad at it, did it better than the friends. You better have cheddar to attend. Wayne got one other on the trim. Get together with the slim mermaid who came on a swim. Wait to the gym.
Okay, so here I am going in with my concealer and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is the shade Medium Beige and I'm using this as a highlighter to brighten up the under eye areas. And so I'm placing it under the eyes, in the chin, and then on top of the forehead as well as a highlight. And then we're gonna buff this out and blend it out with a Real Techniques concealer brush. But then I'm also going to contour her face with the Black Opal Stick Foundation, and I'm using the darkest shade, which I believe it's in the color Ebony, which you will see in the next clip. Okay, so here I'm taking my Real Technique sponge and it is a bit damp and I'm using this to blend out my highlighted areas and then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques contour brush to blend out the contour darker areas. All right, so here I am going in with my contour brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just using this to blend out my cream contour that I laid down. Now that everything is blended out, we're going to go in and set those contour and highlighted areas. I'm taking my Midnight Banana Powder on my damp Real Technique sponge, and I'm setting those highlighted areas. I'm not necessarily baking. I don't really like to bake anymore, but I am using the powder generously. And then we're going to set those areas, and then we're going to dust off that excess powder, which you'll see in the upcoming clips. All right, so I'm going in with my Black Radiance Powder Contour. This is in the medium to deep shade. And I'm using my number 74 brush from Sephora to apply that powder and on top of all of the cream contour that I laid down to set it. I'm also going to take that same contour powder shades and go along the sides of the nose and bring it up to meet up with the underneath the brow. All right, so now I'm taking that Midnight Banana powder with my Real Technique sponge again, and now I'm going to kind of sculpt out underneath the contour. And this is the area that I actually do bake a little bit, just so that the contour will be defined. So we're going to add some blush onto the cheekbones, and I'm using Raisin from MAC. So I'm taking my powder brush from Real Techniques, and I'm dusting off that bake underneath the contour with a mineralized skin finish from MAC in the color dark, and I'm just using that to kind of soften everywhere across the face, as you can see here.
Champagne always on the pour. Some happy, others can applaud. Bum bitches like you, but of course. Mermaid coming on the shore. Take the prince crown and a coin. Shut it down and the bitch is gone. Another runners on Perignon. Downtown, vivid to the song. See everyone on my head when it's worn.
All right, to get rid of that powdery look, I'm going to set the face using the Mario Badescu setting spray.
I used to think I was fierce because I was
Okay, I'm taking an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to use the same colors that I use on the eye in the crease on the lower lash line. So I'm taking that dark purple and smudging it out on the bottom lower lash, and then I'm going to smudge that out with the hot pink.
now. One queen asked me the other day, was it? She told me, Mister, you think you're fierce? I said, of course. She said all queens think they're fierce. I said, mistake all queens and me.
Bon appetit on my feast for the eyes. The reason why I'm in luxury design. So chic, so ahead of time. Cunt queen, princess of the prize. Witness the baddest bitch alive. Reporting from the belly of the night. Gorgeous, cause the world is mine. A girl with a twirl in the rhyme. Diamonds in the pearl on the shine. Welcome to our house in the sky. The house. The house.
Work me,
The house.
cause you pay $10 to get in the ball. You work me,
The house.
work me,
The house.
work me,
The house.
cause you pay $10 to get in the ball. You
The house. The house.
work me.
The house.
All right, so now I'm taking a pencil brush from MAC, and I'm taking the Amrezy highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm putting that in the inner and corners of the eye as well as the brow bone highlight. And then we're also going to take that with a blending brush from Morphe and add it to the tips of the nose and on the cheekbones as well.
The house.
Work me, goddammit.
Me, goddammit. Back at again. My only bad habit, my addiction to win. She only mad at it, did it better than the friends. You better have cheddar to attend. Weighing down one leather on a trim. Get together with a slim mermaid who came on a swim. Way to the gym.
All right, for lips, I'm going to use a dark brown lip liner. I believe this is from Kiss. I got it from my local beauty supply store. And I'm going to take this mauve color lipstick from NARS called Anna. I'm going to use that. It's going to be a really neutral, natural lip color since the eyes are such a statement. Then I'm also going to put a pink gloss on top of that lipstick. The brush that I'm using to apply the lipstick is a Real Techniques lip brush. All right, so I'm going to set her just a little bit more with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. Then I'm going to go in and spray her with the Ben Nye Setting Spray. And here you have it, the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thumbs up to my YouTube channel. Thanks.